Hello and welcome to the Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. My name is Zach Bischoff and I am here with...
Danny Shanholzer.
All right. Well, first of all, to start, we would like to thank you for tuning into the special edition. Also, we are supposed to be joined by Mr. Ethan Spazarski. He was not able to make the start of this episode here, so he will hopefully join us at some point during the episode today. First of all, we just want to say we have recently surpassed 65 listeners on our audio platforms. That includes 2 listeners from all the state of Iowa and also Mexico, 2 listeners in Mexico. So we would like to thank our listeners in those places, and we are glad that our podcast has finally gone across state lines here. So, meanwhile, most of our viewership does remain in Pennsylvania, where we live. So, but we like to see that our podcast is at least getting out there. Now, for the agenda today, we don't really have much of an agenda, but I do have plans. So we're going to start with Colorado's regular season and playoff overview, along with same with Tampa and analysis and predictions for the series. We're going to start with Colorado. First of all, Danny, any introductory remarks?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like, we both play and love to watch hockey, so excited to do a little bit more of a deep dive here, and should be pretty fun stuff. So great to be with you again here, Zach.
Nice. Also, we have to mention the phone lines are open. We have the phone number in the top left corner, which will be appearing momentarily. There it is. It's 412-223-7078. Please contact us to talk hockey only, please. And we would love to get your calls. There is a lot of time and effort devoted to getting the show ready for you all this evening. So first of all, we started with all of these teams, right? And now we are down to 2: Colorado Avalanche and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we are now going to go over the Colorado regular season stats. Let's bring that up here. So, and that is the wrong team. All right. As I change that here. As you see, I'm never prepared. Even though I just had a lot of time and effort gone into this. I'm lying, as usual. Anyway, here we go. In 82 games, 56 wins, 19 losses, 119 points. And then I'll bring up the legend for those of you, stat geeks who like to look at all the advanced stats. So there you go. Danny, your thoughts on the Avalanche regular season?
I mean, yeah, Zach, what more can you really say? You know, I mean, they've obviously really hit their stride late here in the playoffs, making just dominating. But I mean, obviously we'll get to that later. Just regular season, man, I feel like it's pretty easy often to kind of get lost in the day-to-day grind of the regular season, and kind of you see your results slipping here. And I'm not a super diehard Colorado Avalanche fan, but it just seems from that record, man. I mean, they really have stayed pretty consistent. They've they do all the right things, right? They have a good young foundation. They have depth, so that helps. And I just feel like their regular season, at least from the eye test. I mean, again, I'm not able to go super in depth about the regular season, but I mean, it's been. I mean, what more can you say about them? They're a great team, and I think that this year it's kind of finally come together with the development of so many young stars. You know.
All right. Excuse me. Yeah, I think. Hang on. There we go.
Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah, sorry about that. Colorado's
No,
regular season, they were dominant. I think. Well, yeah, I mean, I think they were first in their conference. Excuse me, I got a cough again. There we go. Now, as I was saying, Colorado is dominant, and they got 100 what 19 points.
I think that
So,
yeah, that's right.
and Colorado is just a great team. Like they have Kale McCarr, they have McKinnon, Landeskog, and McKinnon he scores a couple dirty goals. Like he scores a lot of goals and a lot of nice goals, like McGee's like McDavid, um yeah yeah Colorado's just a really good team, and I think they will win the cup in 5 games.
I'd say here we'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
Okay. And now we'll be talking about the playoff overview for the Avalanche. So, Danny, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, they've just continued that dominance, right? I mean, they swept Nashville. They went 6 games with the Blues here, and they swept the Oilers again here. So I mean, what like they've just been super dominant throughout. They've only played 14 games, which I think will be to their detriment, but also could be to their detriment. But in this case, I actually think that it's going to help them, especially against a Lightning team that just had to battle a little bit more coming off of a 6-game series where they go down to. I mean, they're not used to playing down, so that'll be interesting. But I mean, yeah, like they've just again been super dominant. I mean, I think I've said on this podcast before, I really think that Cale McCarr especially is really making the case to be not considered the best defenseman in the league, but among the best players in the league. Because I mean, I know I keep saying it because this is the only. But I mean, in Game 4, the last game played, he had 5 points. 5 points. They had 6 goals, Zach. If you got
Yeah,
your D man doing that, and you're doing something right, you know what I'm saying?
correct. Yeah, and I put myself on camera this time. Yeah, I think that Kale McCarr is a very good offensive player for being a defenseman, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just a really good player. Now playoff stats for the Avalanche are as follows. We have pull it up on my own screen. Um, wins losses 12-2. That doesn't really matter though. And then here's the advanced stats down here for you stat geeks. Um, and
Are you Zach? Off topic here. Are
yes,
you a stat geek though? Are you
not
a stat geek?
not like the advanced stats which the people are seeing currently. Um,
Uh,
like I don't even know what half this stuff means, um, but like the fact that you've scored like 65 goals for in 14 games is a lot.
right.
At least I think. No, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean
Yeah, that seems like a lot.
no. I mean that just speaks to their offensive efficiency. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. Here, just do a quick calculation. Breaking out the math.
Okay.
meaning breaking out the calculator, which is not. Yeah, I mean that's an average of 4.6 goals a game.
I wouldn't have admitted that on a live stream, but okay. Anyway.
Hey, you know what, Jack? The facts are the facts, and one fact about me for those who don't know is that I struggle with math, but that's all right because you know what, that is all right. Okay, that was a little off topic. I'm sorry, Zach,
Yes.
but no, I mean that just speaks to their offensive efficiency. I mean 4.6 a game, 4.6 goals a game speaks for itself.
Correct. All right, now we are going to move into the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll be talking about their regular season in a moment. So, Danny, can you give me your thoughts, please?
Yeah, man, for sure. I just, and I say it, I've said it a lot on this podcast too. The buy-in, like the overall, just the way the Lightning carry themselves and have been carrying themselves for the past 3 seasons now, because they're trying to get their third cup in a row, is just it's really just cool to see because you see in the regular season, I mean they take care of business. They know what they do well, and they know what they do well, and they execute what they do well. Now I know that's a lot of wells right there, but like
it is.
Here's what a lot of teams, and I can a lot of teams don't have an identity, but don't execute it very well. The Lightning have an identity that's different than some other teams, and they execute and they do what they do well. I mean, that just shows in the regular season, man. I mean, they're the most consistent team since the Oilers in the early '80s here. I mean, they're which is what they've been doing. And again, I'm not a super big Lightning fan here. I mean, I keep up with them, but I don't watch all their games super intently. So, a person that watches them more could probably have some more analysis. But I mean, it's just the level of consistency that they've had, and it shows in the regular season too. It's just been really cool to see, and just really awesome. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, I think that the series here, the final, will be a close series. I think, as far as games, and I think Colorado's going to win in like 5, but I think that the games are going to be closer than most people think.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I would just say because I feel like, and I know we can go off. But yeah, I was just gonna say I feel like that Tampa, like Vasilevsky is what makes Tampa Bay be. I mean, he is their anchor, man. He is their, and if people if you have a good tendy, as the hockey players like to say, if you have a good tendy, man, you're their options are just so much more. I mean, they're you see it in the way they play too. But I think because Vasilevsky is in goal for him, and I think Colorado's offense is probably a little bit more star-studded than Tampa's offense, especially because Braden Point is coming off an injury. And that'll be interesting to see. I hope he can. I think they were saying that he's probably going to be a go for game 2. I think that's what they're looking because he skated today. I know, but I just think that having Vasilevsky in Tampa Bay's corner is just really gonna make things interesting because Colorado will have a lot of chances and they'll score some, but Vasilevsky is also going to make some really good saves. And although I don't know, and this. But yeah, that'll just be really interesting. And a question that I'm thinking of, because just in the spur of the moment here, is I'm curious, and I know nationally they've been debating this too, but you know that Darcy Kemper got injured in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. that so they brought in I believe it was uh, what is this? Franz. I'm sorry if I butchered this, but something like Franz Coop or something. And he's their backup goalie, and he's been playing pretty well. But and I know I butchered that name, but I'm curious to see if they will start him or if they will go back to their number one guy, Darcy Kemper, even though he's injured and it's his first game since I think like May 31st, they were saying. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see.
And yeah, so I think it'll be somewhat of a jar situation that we experience locally here.
Exactly.
And yeah, I think that should be interesting to watch. Now unfortunately we do have to take a brief intermission because Ethan is not available this evening, so we have to take an intermission to discuss how we'll proceed. We wanted this podcast to be a little bit more than an hour, but I don't think we'll surpass that mark. So give us a moment here to gather our thoughts, and we will be right back right here on the Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. welcome back to the Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. Our number is up in the corner, 412-223-7078. We need callers because we do not have our guest was scheduled for this evening due to unforeseen circumstances. So we need to fill some time. For now, while we are waiting for your calls, we are going to fill the time with other general hockey banter. Danny, what do you any interesting thoughts, stories, tidbits, anything?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just think a thing that has my eye, and we can as we get our ideas kind of flowing off the top of the head. I'm sure we'll connect it back to the preview show here, which is supposed to be the Stanley Cup. But another thing that has my eye here is the situation in Edmonton, because you know. Um, uh, the Colorado Avalanche obviously made quick work of the Oilers here, and I just feel like, and I think they realize this without Draisaitl, without McDavid, without Draisaitl, without Evander Kane, they're basically, and I heard this on a other NHL show, so I can't take credit for coming up with this. But after doing research on their roster and stuff, they're basically like an AHL hockey team without those guys. And I think that Edmonton's fan base and kind of their GM almost had like unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectations for their current situation here. So I'm just really curious to see how that pans out, because they need a goaltender, that's for sure. I mean, Mike Smith, he might come back for another year, but I mean, because he really likes playing, and I mean, he's 40 something, so I mean, he's been going at it for a while, so he's had a good run at it. I just really think Edmonton needs a goalie and defenseman, so that'll be like, where does Edmonton go from here? Because they have stars, but their stars have just been carrying them for so long. It's like, at some point they got to help them out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that, and I'm sorry to connect it to. I mean, I want to bring it back to the Stanley Cup, but that is why Colorado and Tampa are so good, because they have stars, but they also have such good role players, so many good veterans. I mean, Pat Maroon, I think, is in his 4th straight trip to the finals.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah.
So that
go ahead, finish.
No, so that's what the good teams do, you know. And I have you heard this storyline here, Jack? That Corey Perry, a forward on the Lightning, this is his 3rd straight trip to the finals.
Well, I didn't hear that specifically, but I'm guessing that that would be a lot of guys' 3rd straight trip, because
No, but I'm sorry. I should have. Yeah, you're completely right. But that's actually really good. No, this is his 3rd straight trip to the finals. But the previous 2, he came out on the losing end.
Okay.
So everybody's kind of really pulling for everybody on the Lightning organization. I just want to get. He's already got a Stanley Cup win, but everybody on the Lightning probably wants him to. So they're probably. Like, that's got to be so tough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get to the top of the mountain. This is going to be his 3rd straight time, which again is for a lot of guys. But all the other guys on that team have already won twice. You know, this guy's won twice. So if he loses, he's probably going to feel like, oh crap, like, I really have exhausted all my options.
Yeah, going to the Oilers here, they have a lot of work to do. Like Dan was saying in the off season, I think. Now, I don't know if that'll mean firing. I don't know if that'll mean cuts or anything. But it's just, and that's how local media here is kind of making it sound. I don't think they're gonna fire anybody, but stranger things have happened. So it should be interesting to watch the next couple months here what happens with in that organization.
For sure. No, and I feel like, and because the Oilers are at a point where like they really just rely on Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and for the last year, I think he signed a 1-year deal. Evander Kane has been great for him. I mean, he had in 14 games, I think he had 13 goals. I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really good, and they need more production like that. But like, when you have a team that has so many, like that has a couple superstars, but other than that, just really not good players. I mean, Mike Smith is just he's getting older now, so I mean, he's just not their solution in net here. But like, can you really blame? I think you can blame management more than coaching, because the coach is getting production from their stars, which is what you need to do. But like, he can't do a ton when Mike Smith is their goal. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And I mean, and I know they got swept, but they made the conference finals. You know, so that's not a failure. I mean,
No, it's not fair at all.
Wouldn't it be nice, Zach, if the Penguins could get there after three straight first round exits? I think.
Yeah. I think 3. Yeah. No. Yeah. 3. 3 or 4. 1 of 2. Yeah. The 2016, 2017 glory days.
Yes.
Glory days for the Penguins.
And I mean, do you remember that?
I remember staying up till 2 a.m. in the morning when Chris Skinner scored in overtime or Game 7 conference final against Ottawa to send us to the Cup final.
Yeah, and I remember Brian Ross had the game of his life against Tampa a couple years, or I think was it? But I remember I was coming. I was at a family gathering, and I don't know if we were. I don't know what we were doing, but I had the no. I think I was watching a friend in a production, and it was a great production. But
little free advertising there.
What do you say?
Little free advertising there.
Yeah, she's actually a really really good like ballet dancer, and she was doing like in a musical. She was one of the dancers. So she was really good. But I remember I was like listening to the radio through an earphone, and I had the other earphone tuned to the. I remember that. And Brian Russ, man, he had the game of his professional career. I mean, he had 2 goals in Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now we find ourselves talking about Tampa Bay in the 3rd straight finals.
Yep. Yeah, it should be interesting. I really want the Pens to, and the Pens should have closed the. The Pens should have closed the series out in the first round in New York. Also, no calls. Call that number. So, yeah, I think if there's really no excuses at this point. You were down, or you were up 3-1, pardon me, in the series, and you lose 4 straight. You can't do that.
Right, and that just, I mean, again, it just shows, like, I know I keep, and I actually am picking, I think I'm going to pick, actually I'm picking the Lightning, so never mind. But, in 7, I believe. But I mean, that's just, like, the Tampa Bay Lightning, man, they went through the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round and had to come back from a 3-2 deficit to do so, I believe. And then they go to Fort Panthers, the President's Trophy winners, best team in the regular season, beat them. Then they're down 2-0 to Igor Shesterkin, who I know he had a shaky start to the for in the Penguins series, obviously, as we know.
Igor.
Yes, sir. No, but I just the way that Tampa is just able to respond and just able to the way they carry themselves, and this is credit to John Cooper, man, because I remember he's been around. You know, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer, I think. I think he's like he's getting up there in playoff wins. So I think he was like 10th all time or was 10th all time.
Yeah.
But it just shows like that is a heck of a job by John Cooper, man. Because when you get your to be able to get the best out of your team, and literally the best in the NHL for two years, and they're going to try to do it in a third year here. I mean, like, that's hard to do because there's so much turnover. There's so many variables. I mean, it's just been, and I know I keep saying I sound like a broken record, but I sound like a teacher trying to get you to put periods at the end of kids' sentences. But
which you don't do.
What do you say?
I said, which you don't do. Well, he probably does.
That's true. I need to give myself that lecture a couple times a year there because I gotta remember periods and commas. Commas is a big thing. But yeah, it's just been.
This has been your English lesson with Danny and Zach.
Yes, exactly. We can. We're not just geniuses when it comes to sports. We're geniuses when it comes to English too. Irony with the word geniuses because we're not geniuses in any regard, but or in either regard. Zach is a genius though. Zach when it comes to tech, Zach is a genius.
I am the All Things Sports Podcast engineer here. I'm also the CEO and founder of the All Things Sports Podcast.
That's right.
And Danny is nothing more than a co-host. Anyway, now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
That's pretty accurate. No, but it just shows the level that John Cooper, man. And who's David not David Bednar, but
Dick Bednar. Yeah.
So his last name, I don't know but Colorado's coach has been doing great too because this is the year that they've finally been able to put it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It should be interesting. All right, we're gonna take another brief intermission here for a moment, and we will be right back to wrap up the Stanley Cup Final preview show. welcome back to the Stanley Cup Final preview show. So first we will be doing predictions on the series once again, and then we will go over the plans for episode number 10. This will not be an official, since it's a bonus episode. And this also will not be available on our audio platforms due to the length. So first, Danny, your thoughts on the last chance to keep your calls in 412-223-7078. All right. Anyway, Danny, your thoughts on what your keys to the series for both teams,
Yeah.
and also your final prediction.
I guess keys to the series, and then I'll get predictions. Like Zach just said, I'm just trying to think in my head here. But yeah, I would say keys to the tips to win, so to speak, for both teams here. I would just say for Colorado, it starts and ends with the start. I mean, because Colorado has the ability to, if they have a great first period, like they have the ability to put 3 or 4 goals in the first period, and then they can kind of just, then it's if they're able to play good D, and if they're able to limit other people's or other teams' key players, then like that's what they did in Nashville in the first game. I mean, they put 4 passes in the first period, I think, or was it 5? Might have been 5. But like the key for Colorado is how they start, because if they let Tampa hang around, I think Colorado is the better. Like I honestly think Colorado is the better team. I mean, they've been just. I mean, they're 12-2 through 14 games in the playoffs, and I know that. But I mean, they've been playing really good hockey. So if they let the Tampa Bay Lightning hang around, then I think Tampa is gonna make them pay, because Tampa's so good at making you pay for if you're, let's say you are trying to think of a specific example, but they're just so good at making other teams pay for their mistakes. So I think the sooner that Colorado can score, and if they it'd be so much if Colorado scores first. I think the odds of them winning the game, and this is for not just this series, but whoever scores first usually ends up winning most of the time. So I think that'll be a key for Colorado. I think a key for Tampa is just they did this in the New York series. They Shesterkin, and they're not facing a guy as good as Shesterkin in either Darcy Kemper or what's it? It's something with it's like, I'm not sure the exact pronunciation of Colorado's backup goalie. I apologize, but they're not facing as starch of a goalie as Igor. So they just got to get pucks in net, because that's how they were able to beat New York 4 times in a row after going down 2-0. So those are a couple keys that I have. And then before I toss it over to you, Zach, I guess I'll give you my prediction. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, just so my prediction would probably be, this is going to sound, again, I like to give, for those of you that have been watching for a while, I like to give out spicy takes. I like to bring out some hot ones. You know what I mean? It's like I'm the type of guy that makes a sports take, and it's like I sign the waiver before making the take, because I know it's a hot one. You know what I mean? And that's why some people think I'm crazy, because, well, I am a little bit crazy, but no, but that's why some people, I guess, maybe don't agree with my takes as much, because when they see the waiver coming out, they get a little nervous. I don't get nervous. I don't get rattled. Anyway, no, that was a little bit off topic, but I think that Colorado is going to do what I said. I think they're going to start fast in the first 2 games. They're going to go up 2-0. Then Tampa is going to come back to Tampa and reevaluate and play a dominating performance. So it's going to be 2-1 going in Game 4. Now, Game 4, I think Colorado is going to beat Tampa Bay. Now, you know what I said? I said Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. So after Game 4, when it is 3-1, I believe the Lightning will win Game 5, make it 3-2, win Game 6, make it 3-3. And then the all-important Game 7. The Tampa Bay Lightning will three-peat and will win the Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd time in 3 years by a goal from their captain, Steven Stamkos, to seal it in overtime. That's how I think it's. I think it will be an all-time classic. I really do.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, my prediction: the home team will win every game. Simple. I think that when one team scores, the other will score very shortly after. I think it's simple. Two great teams, two teams full of great players. You had Stamkos the other night. Like
He
Kale
was great the
McCall,
other night.
yes. Vasilevsky. All sorts of. It's gonna be all sorts of fun. Anyway, your final chance: 412-223-7078. Your absolute final chance. Call us right now if you would like to get your calls in, and we will wait about a minute to see if we get any calls. Danny, can you please serenade the people with your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this is obviously, Zach said, you want to join the conversation, give us your input. We would really enjoy that. We understand that we're small but mighty, and that we're gonna grow in the next coming couple of seasons here, so to speak. That's an interesting word.
We don't have seasons here. We don't have
in the
seasons.
next, that's true. It's like 81 day and then 20 the other day. Anyway, I really think that I mean this series is going to be like mano a mano. I really think that two of them, like I think the two best teams in the National Hockey League, especially playoffs considering. This is why they're at this point. But I obviously, but like I think this has the potential to be one for the A's. And I mean, we just got to kind of sit back and relax because I know that. I mean, I like we've been trying to predict, we've been trying to analyze. The beauty about sports is that you just don't know, right, Jack? So I mean, I'm just gonna be interested to just sit back, watch, and just really enjoy watching these two teams battle it out.
All right, with that, that will do it for the Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. We thank you for watching. We are sorry that, well, we actually got close to an hour. We look forward to having Ethan Spasowski back on. He'll be on at some point in due time. Anyway, our plans for episode number 10, we will be recording that, I believe, Wednesday, live on YouTube. And then next week, there will not be a live stream. I will be unavailable that week. So we will announce plans for episode 11 as we come up with them. There might only be audio that week. We do not know. And we'll do it for the Stanley Cup Final Preview Show. We will see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.